Welcome to the Dalen Show. Good all. Hello people. Hope all is well with you guys. Hope you're doing well. Again, and always appreciate the love and support that you guys been giving me in the show recently. Man, I hope you guys have been enjoying the last couple episodes. It's been so great to talk to so many different people and learn and laugh with them over the past couple weeks. Man, I've really enjoyed my interviews over the past couple weeks. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. Man, without further ado, man, let's introduce our guest this week, Mr. Chris Lewis. Woohoo! First off, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you reaching out to me.
I appreciate you reaching out to me, man.
And first of all, how's everything going with you right now? How's life treating you? How's everything going for you?
Life's going well, man. I can't complain about everything. Just taking it one day at a time. That's all I can do.
I understand, man. Chris, before we get started, I'd like for you to give the viewers a brief overview about yourself, so they can get comfortable with you a little bit. Tell them where you're from,
uh,
and just what you've been able to do to help you get where you are today.
as you know, as Dylan, introduced me, my name is Chris Lewis. Um, I am from Meridian, Mississippi, but during 2016, I had some issues where I had to move to Hattiesburg. So I attended Hattiesburg High School and graduated from there. While I went there, I played basketball, and I was top 20 in the state of Mississippi. Got invited to the top 100 count, and I did a lot more at basketball. I got offers, D1 offers, D1 entries, almost every JUCO offer that there is. So you know, just being able to play basketball was extremely a joy, and to attend Hattiesburg High School was a joy as well.
I want to start out at your younger days, man. When did you start playing basketball? What age did you pick the ball up?
I remember like it was yesterday. So when I first picked up a basketball, I was in Silas, Alabama, playing in the sand. So I knew nothing about basketball. I saw a goal, and I pointed at the goal to my brother, and he picked up a basketball, and he gave it to me. Now at first he shot the ball, so I watched him shoot. So he gave me the ball, and I had shot and I made it, and the look on his face was priceless. So ever since then, like I just fell in love with the game of basketball, and since then I just work towards my dreams.
I love that response because something I mention quite often is family and my bond with my family and how important they are. Man, talk about how much your siblings and your folks around you
Oh
were
man,
important to you, man.
my folks, man, they are extremely important to me. I had a couple issues with basketball, and going through life, you're gonna have adversity. You're gonna face it.
Yeah.
So you can't face adversity alone. So having my people there for me, giving me advice, there for me, telling me to keep going, that everything will be okay, and that I'll get something out of it, whether the award is big or not. I mean, it just meant the world to me, especially my father and my mother, because they sacrificed so much for me.
Yeah.
I remember not being able to play basketball in Meridian, and that was my dream to play pro basketball. So my mother and my father, they told me, they was like, we're not gonna let your dreams go to down the drain. So what they did for me was they moved to Hattiesburg for me to give me an opportunity to play basketball again, which is the game I love. And the things they told me while I was down there to stay focused, keep my head in the books, and just to work hard on and off the court. So I took all of those things in, and when you put in something, it's like daily deposits. You put in something, you get something out of it. So being able to work that hard and get something out of it, it was a dream come true. So you know, I was happy that my folks were like really just
Mm,
there to support me, because without your family, man, you're nothing.
absolutely. I love that response. And it's gonna lead me to this. When there are times when I feel like every hooper goes through this time where you love what you're doing, but there's also times where you're thinking about it like, do I ever want to kind of stop playing, or I'm losing a little bit of love? Has there ever been a point for that for you, man?
Yes. So I faced a little bit of adversity my freshman year. Coming in, I was like, the top point guard coming into college. So, um, everyone knew me. So getting to college, East Mississippi. Um, I remember my first day of workouts. I mean, everything went so smoothly, and workouts were going smooth. I talked to my coaches; they told me I was coming along. But that first practice is where I really just faced adversity because, transitioning from high school to college is a
Mm.
big transition. So you have to be on your P's and Q's. So, um, I really, didn't understand what was going on. Like the speed was fast, and the players were kind of difficult because it was more to it as you progress. So, um, that was really the most difficult part. And I remember going to my room and actually just sitting on a bed thinking, like, is this really for me? Am I going to be able to continue to do this? And I remember calling my dad and telling him the same thing. I was explaining to him, like, what should I do? And I remember his exact response. He was like, as an athlete, you're going to have your ups and downs, but, sports determines your character. If you quit, you get nothing out of it, but you keep going, it shows your character, it builds character. So you don't want to become a quitter. And I remember that response from him. So, you know, yes, I faced a lot of adversity my freshman year. And, facing adversity, you basically learn from it so you won't make the same mistakes again. So that was the big piece that I took from it.
I want to ask you, could you give, and I feel like this is would be easy for you because you just talked about going through things even in your freshman year. Could you give a piece of advice to a young kid that's in high school or in college and is fighting a lot of troubles in the game right now? What advice would you give to them to kind of keep going with their game?
My advice that I would give to them is, to stick things out, trust the process, learn what's going on, stay in the gym, work out twice as hard because, when things are not going your way, you just can't bow down and lay down. You have
Yeah.
to get up and you keep fighting. So I would tell that person to stay in the gym and that your time is basically coming because, at a point in time, everything's not going to go your way. So you just have to stay down until you come to the top. And for me, that was the biggest thing for me. And I had to realize that, coming from high school, college, everybody is exactly like me, you know. So I have to work as, two times as hard as they do. And I have to stay in the gym, put in the work, and I have to put in the work while I'm tired. So my advice to them would be just to stay down until you come up, keep working hard, trust the process, and pray.
I love that. And I want kids that I just asked for that to be directed to listen to that because this is someone that is experienced, that's gone through the phases of the game, and has experienced what it's like. So please take that with a grain of salt. Um, man, Chris, in high school, man, you're big fella, man, 6'3", 6'4". You got some size on you, man. What what did you work on specifically in terms of like training practices, workouts with trainers? What were you working on to make sure you were at the best game for you, man?
So I'm not gonna even lie to you. I come from a background where my family are full of athletes. Man, my dad played professional football with the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. I
Hmm.
had a cousin that played in the MLB. I had another cousin also that played in the MLB. And my uncle was a
Wow.
great football player. He went to college and played football. And I also have a brother that played college football and pro football. So you know just taking in things from them, listening to them, they actually gave me some tips on how to get where I am. So basically, the things that I basically just work on when I go to the weight room, I do. I don't do any of the what weightlifters do, like the what they call the bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So I just keep it simple, man. I'll bench press 10 reps, 3 sets, squat 3 sets, 10 reps, and I actually like to do work on my abs as well. And the thing that separated me was that I was able to, lift the heavy amounts. And if I did like the little amounts, I would like, do a lot of reps of what I'm doing. But, increasing my weight, I was able to bench basically 205. I squat 405 and I deadlift 4. So, you know, just coming from that background really separated me from everything and
Yeah.
just taking it, learning. So, that's basically all I do.
I want to ask you, since you said that, did you ever feel a piece of added pressure just because who your family was, and what you were surrounded by?
Man, most definitely, man. And that's what really separated me the most. And I was able to get better
Yeah.
because thinking about it, I felt like it's at a time when you're working out, you want to give up, or when you're in a game and you're down, you just like, oh man, the game's over with. But where I come from, my mentality is different. So when I'm feeling down, you know, I remember like what I've been through, and I remember the background that I come from. So basically, that adds like a chip on my shoulder. So I actually sometimes felt pressured to do what I have to do, but it actually kept me going. And some games that people thought that we couldn't win or come back, we actually won and came back. And during those workouts where I thought I couldn't finish, I actually finished that because of the chip on my shoulder and the things I carry.
Chris, is there any favorite player, any player that you model your game after?
Uh,
Who do you like to watch, man?
you know, my favorite player, I'll go down from point guard to center for you, man. It's my
Okay.
all time. Okay, so my favorite point guard of all time, man, is Allen Iverson, man. Like the way he plays,
I love that.
it's hard over height, man. And the way he played, man, you could tell that like he like endured a lot, like everything. And that was one of my favorite point guards because no matter who you were, he was gonna go attack you, and that's what I liked about him. My favorite shooting guard right now, I have to go with Klay Thompson, man. Klay Thompson can just flat out shoot the ball, man. And for him to be able to do that at a high efficient level, man, it's just something to watch and something to appreciate. My favorite small forward, of course, I have to go with the man, the myth, the legend, LeBron James. That's my favorite player, man. Like I love LeBron. Like the way he carries himself on and off the court. You don't hear any negative things about LeBron.
Yeah.
Um, and for him to go, what I respect the most was him going back to Cleveland and winning the championship that he promised for them. That was the most I got the utmost respect for him, man. My favorite foreman, power forward. I have to go with Giannis. Giannis is a dog, man.
Yeah.
He attacks the paint like there is no tomorrow. So Giannis is my favorite power forward, and my favorite center, man, is the most dominant center ever to play basketball. That's Shaquille O'Neal, man. Shaquille is a dog, man. So that was
Res-
my top five right there.
Respectable list, man. I love that. I love your AI answer. AI is one of my three favorite players ever played the game. So
Yeah.
I always respect that response. Man, your resume coming out of high school was as good as anyone's in the state when you're getting ready to leave. What were the offers like? And when you're thinking about the schools that are coming at you, what's your mindset? Like, what are you looking for in terms of a program, coach, players? What are you looking for the most?
Um, my mentality in high school is different from now. So coming back out from high school, I just wanted to go somewhere where I could play in a place that felt like home. But now realize what I should have done was I should have went somewhere, where I could have actually, played, more minutes and, got a little bit of shine so I can, go to a D1 program. And, my mentality was basically staying close to home because, I wanted to be by my family.
Hmm.
And, me and my family, like, we're actually, like, big on education. So, my sister is a nurse, and my mom is a nurse as well. My sister is going to be a nurse practitioner next I want to say this December, and my mom is a nurse right now. So coming from a well background of educated people, we're big on education. So I had to stay close to them in case I needed help with anything, and that's basically that. But my mentality now is that I should have went somewhere different where I could have had a better education and I could have played more because if I would have did that right there, like everything would have been balanced out for me.
You went to East Mississippi and Jones. Talk about
Hmm.
those experiences, man. What were they growing pains? What did you learn from your times there? And looking back at it, what do you wish you maybe could have done differently as well?
Um, I remember when I committed to East Mississippi. They treated me like family. I went there. Um, it was real nice, the campus, the training room facility, the
Hmm.
workout, the where you work out, and the court was like pretty nice as well. And yeah, coming from Meridian, it's real close to Meridian, so it's like everybody that I grew up with basically went to East Mississippi. Um, but I would say this as well with East Mississippi. I endured a lot, and I went through a lot at East Mississippi just coming from high school. My freshman year, I didn't play as much as I wanted to, but I played. If you know what I'm saying. And what I could have done different there is, I could have learned like, basically tips, basically score the ball, put the ball in the basket more, and I could have been more vocal. And that's why I
Mm,
feel like
yeah.
the areas that I lacked in. So, when the season was over with, I took those two things to heart, and I told myself that I have to become more vocal. I have to work hard as anyone that's in the gym, and I had to become a leader on and off the court. So just lead it by example, basically. So the time at East Mississippi, it was it was nice. Like I enjoyed it, like every bit of it. And Jones, I remember actually sitting on the phone with the coach at Jones, and the things that we talked about was being dominant on and off the being dominant on the crashing the boards and putting the ball in the basket. So what separated me was that I come from like a hard family. Like I get critiqued on everything I
Yeah.
do. So that summer I worked my tail off like every single day. Like I worked out 2 or 3 times a day. So I would first I would start off. I would wake up, eat some fruit, drink some water, go to the weight room. I would spend like an hour in the weight room, and I would go back home and rest for a minute and eat. And after I ate, I let my food digest for a minute, and I would go to the basketball gym and I would shoot for hours, work out for hours. And going to Jones, like I felt like I was, I worked the hardest, and like there wasn't anybody that was gonna work as hard as me. So attending Jones, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't play any at Jones because of my situation that I had went through. But the one thing I can say at Jones, like I was the most, hard working person. Like I made no excuses. And if there was a loose ball, I was diving on the floor. I was getting to the basket,
Yeah.
scoring. And my teammates would tell you that, man. I was talented. Like I played above the rim. I could shoot the ball, everything, man. So you know, taking time like to think about those two, like what I could have really done different in both situations, or worked way harder. Like there's never a limit on what you can do. So I know I could have worked harder. I could have put the ball in the basketball. I could have been more vocal. And the thing that I would suggest athletes doing and spending time in the film room, man, and getting to know your teammates as well. Because man, that'll really separate you. Because you spend time in the film room, you know your opponents, you know what they like to do. That's more playing time for you because you know what they're capable of doing, and you can stop that. You can stop. You can prevent them from getting to the goal or prevent them to get to their spots where they like to score. So for me, I feel like basically having a high IQ and just loving the game of basketball and enjoying it every minute, man. That's what every athlete should do.
I talk so heavily about film with players, whether they play basketball, football, whatever
Yeah.
they do, man. And I just love that you brought that up. When you watch a film, man, what are you looking at? What are you watching about yourself, other teams, other
Um,
players? Like what is it specifically that you're looking at?
when I watch film, I look at your top scorer first, and I look at the person that's helping the top scorer, and I look at the role players as well. And when I look at those people, I look at them and I break down their strengths and I break down their weaknesses. So when I'm doing that, I'm critiquing them. So I'm like, okay, this is what he likes to do right here. He likes to jab left, then he'll go right and pull up. So when he jabs, I'm not gonna bite on the jab, and he pump fakes, I'm not gonna jump. He just gonna have to pump fake, jab, and go left, and I'll be right there to contest this shot. Okay, and that's his strength. But his weaknesses is that he cannot go left. So if you can't go left, of course, I'm gonna send you left. I'm gonna open up to that side and let you go right there. And once you start going right there, I'll hop in front of you, like I'll put my leg out and stop you from going that way, and I'll take the ball because that's your weakness. So basically, just looking for strengths and weaknesses, man. And another thing that you can take out from film is combining the team together.
Hmm.
So when you're looking at every person, you have to, basically you can't watch film by yourself, man. The whole team or the starting five has to be there with you so they can learn things as well as you. So what I would start off doing is basically getting my starting five or my teammates that's gonna play. And I would just go over film, man. Watch what they run, the plays and everything, their strengths, their weaknesses, like I said. So yeah, that's what I basically take for film, man. It's a lot of that.
Can you give me a breakdown? It didn't matter, East Mississippi, Jones. Like, what was your day like during the season? Like, what time did you wake up, have classes, workouts, trainings? Like, what
Man.
was your day-to-day schedule like?
So at Jones, um, what I would do basically at Jones, we would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and we would have to be on the track by at least 6 o'clock. But if you're there at 6 o'clock, you're late. So be at the on the track around 5:50, 5:45, stretched, warmed up. And during that time, you're gonna run a mile under 7 minutes. If you don't make your time under 7 minutes, you have to run a extra mile under what it was. What was it? No, you have to run one lap under a minute and 30 seconds. And if you didn't make that, man, you'll have to keep like continue to go until you
Hmm.
make it. So man, that's one thing I respect about the coaches is that like there were no let ups. Like they was gonna hold you at a high standard. And after we get done running the track, you have to go to the bleachers, run the bleachers, one step, two step, run around. And after that, after you finish, it's like 6:45 basically. So after that, we're gonna practice. And during those practices, all right. So of course, you have to stretch. Um, we'll do a little bit of drills. We get our legs warmed up again. And after we do that, we're basically competing at that point. So it's like 4-on-4 shell and everything like that, and just working on our defense. And after we work on our defense, we'll run our plays for a minute. We'll get up and down. After we run our plays, of course, there comes scrimmage. So scrimmage is like basically to show that you're like you're progressing and that you know the plays. So what I took from scrimmages is basically um, that In my mind, I put in like I have to know the plays and I have to know all five positions. So if I know all five positions, then I can play anywhere.
Mm.
Then that's more playing time. So scrimmaging, I show what I can do, put the ball in the basket, run the plays correctly. If I messed up, I was gonna hold myself to that standard and never make that mistake again. So basically that's what life at Jones was like. And then after that, you go to class, and if you want to come back and get some shots up, you can get some shots up. And that's what I basically did. So, that's what really separated me, man.
I know so much has happened, COVID and stuff over the past couple years, and but at this time, what's your end goal, man? Like, what do you want? And I say this because, man, I get the vibe off you that you'll be a really good coach. You
Yeah.
understand what players need. You're very humble, and I just get that vibe off of you. But what was your end goal like at this time? Like, what do you want for your game and like for your terms and what are you thinking about is going to be your future?
Um. So right now, what I think is going to be my future is basically I'm doing exercise science right now to become a physical therapist because I want to help athletes recover and get back on the court or on the field as fast as possible. But you know, it's not all becoming a physical therapist for me. That's my main goal. But one of my goals as well is to actually take a kid and help that person. Like, basically coming from my background, man, like I didn't have it all. I didn't know it all. And I had people around me that helped me to get where I'm at today. So I
Yeah.
want to be an outlet for another athlete, man. I want to be able to take that person in, train them, and help them get to the next level, man. So that's basically what I want to do. And if that includes, numerous people, man, like I'll do it. Like I like to give and I like to help. And anybody that tell you that know me, man, I'm big on giving, man. Because I understand it's not all about me. It's all about giving as well. Because God didn't put us here to just look at ourselves and just think like, what can I do for me that's gonna separate me and do this and that. Nah, man,
Mm.
you gotta help others as well as you progress, and that your blessings will flow. So yeah, that's basically what I look forward to doing in the future, man.
I love that because I can see that as well. You have being a trainer and just I don't know maybe starting off with one person, then eventually raising to a group. Man, if you ever want to do that for real, man, let me know because I got a lot of trainers that are big time and I would love to help out with that, man.
That's
Um,
definitely.
I'm big on music as well, man. What's your music taste like, man? What's some of your artists and
Oh man.
even pre-game? Like, what do you listen to before a game to get you ready for a game, man?
See, this has been basically if you listen to Meek Mill, man, if you know Meek Mill faced a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And my one of my favorite albums by Meek Mill that means a lot to me is Championships, man,
Mhm.
because like I remember listening to one of his songs and he quoted in the song, he was like, what did he say? He said, basically that we faced all of this right here. He went through this and it made him a champion, man. So that's why he made the album Championships. But my favorite song and my favorite rapper is Meek Mill, and my favorite song is Respect the Game. Like before every game, I used to listen to that song right there, and they used to give me all the motivation I need right there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Meek Mill, man.
Um, one of my other interesting questions that I like to ask, because I get a different answer every time I ask this. If you could have dinner with three people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
All right. So first off, I would start off with Kobe Bryant because we both know, man, Kobe Bryant has the mentality that nobody has ever had, man.
Yeah.
And so, just to sit and have dinner with him, man, I would love to do that because there are so many questions that I want to ask
Mhm.
him about, like, mentality and like, how does he endure like everything that he faced? Because being a celebrity, a star athlete, is that man, like I know you're facing a lot of criticism. There's things going on back at home, and there's just a lot of things that like just it can easily get you off your game. But like the main thing is like how do you focus and how do you lock in on the court to be the killer that you are. So my number one person would be Kobe Bryant. Number two, I would I would have to go with I would have to go with Michael Jordan, man, because Michael Jordan had a killer mentality as well. But the thing I would like to ask Michael Jordan is just basically how like did basically how did he separate himself from
Mm,
coming from this level, not making the high school team, to getting thrown around by the Pistons, to just becoming a phenomenal basketball player, like to the highest level. And we both know, man, Michael Jordan is the most respected basketball player,
yeah.
and he played at a high level. So I basically just want to ask him, like, how did he separate himself? And to go with number three, I would have to go with LeBron, man, because on and off the court, LeBron is LeBron, and there is no negative things. Like I said, I would basically just conversate and chat it to him with him about like how to go on about life off the court, like how to face criticism like when it
Mm,
comes, because right now, like, man, LeBron faces the most criticism ever, man, like in NBA right now. Like there is nobody that is getting critiqued like him every day, man.
yeah.
It's crazy. But that's what I sit down and have a conversation about. Like, how do you take those things in? And how do you be a great person off the court, basically?
Still different, and it's focused on what you wanted always to do in your career path. So I love those answers, and again, they're different because man, every time I ask it, I get some different answers, off-brand question answers. So it's something new for me every time. Uh,
Yeah.
Chris, in your free time, man, what's some of your hobbies? What you do on your free time, man, outside of basketball?
Um, in my free time, you said besides basketball?
Yeah.
In my free time, man, I basically like so I have a girlfriend, man, and I
Mhm.
basically love to spend time with my girlfriend. So she'll come down here on the weekends. We'll watch movies, eat, and do different activities, man. It's just fun being around her, and having somebody that loves and cares for you, man, and
Yeah.
that gives you the world, man. It's just the best. So I most definitely like spending time with my girlfriend. And besides that, basically, I keep my head in a book. So if I'm not playing basketball, I'm basically studying and doing some work, so I can stay on top of my academics as well. And my last thing that I like to do as well is I like to watch documentaries
Okay.
um about different things on people's lives. And what I do, I take every little detail in, and I basically ask myself, how can I add this to my daily life, and how can I become a better person. So I take a lot on that. And if I'm not doing that, I'm playing the game, man. So
Yeah.
my favorite games are Madden 23, 2K, and I play a little bit of Fortnite.
Okay.
Yep.
I love the different viewpoints, man, and I think things have been so ridiculed in the past couple years of what you're trying to do, and I think your head's on the right level for everything that you want to do. So that's really good for you, man. One of the things that I always like to ask before we in the interview is two
hmm
questions in one. And you've really talked about a big piece of advice already. Um,
hmm
but I still want to ask, like, is there any one piece of advice that you would give to people listening? It doesn't have to be about basketball, anything at
hmm
all, but what's just one piece of life advice you would give to people watching? And also, legacy is something that I talk about very much as well. Like, what do you want people to know about Chris Lewis forever and always, man? Like, what is something you always want people to remember about you?
All right, so first off, man, a piece of advice I would give off to anybody, man, is to never let anybody tell you what you're capable of or what you're not capable of,
Mm,
man. Because once you set your mind on what you want to do, nobody can stop you. You have to stay focused, man. You have to pray, and you have to have a tunnel vision. And if you know you keep God first, man, and you do what you have to do, and you be, obey your parents. I go back to the Bible, man. Like the Ten Commandments. If you follow those commandments, man, you will have a good life. So I would recommend anybody to, keep God first, and don't let anybody tell you what you can't do, because we all are capable of doing anything. And one thing that I want people to remember me of is basically, man, being a hard working person and remembering me for being there for others, because I understand that, going through life, man, it's not all about me, like I harped on, man. Like, I understand that I have to be there for others, but you know one thing that I really, really, really enjoy is, like, going back and giving to the homeless, man, because there are not too many people that care for the homeless, man. People that walk right by them and just talk bad about them, man. But those people have feelings just as well as we do, man.
Yeah.
So giving back to the poor means it means everything to me. So what I want people to remember me of, man, is just being a godly person, man. Like, I love to give, and I love to give advice, man.
I can share a quick little story real quick. I was walking out. It's not a story, but it's quick. And I was walking out of the store the other day, and I was holding the door open for this lady, and I thought she was going in the store. She's like, "No, no, I'm not going in." But your mother raised you right, and I was like, "I appreciate that, ma'am." And I called my mom and told her that. And I'm gonna tell you this, man. Your parents raised you right, man. And I hope whenever they see this that they take that well, man, because people, you don't just say that for no reason. I can tell you mean what you're saying. You love to help other people, and you have a great background of wanting to see other people succeed and not just yourself. So keep that up. There's not a lot of people like that anymore, man. So keep doing that, man. Um,
Appreciate it.
Chris, if you're willing to, man, share. Could you share your social media handle so people, man, they can follow you and reach out to
Oh,
you
of
if they
course,
have
man.
any other questions, man?
My Instagram name is Chris C Lewis one, and I like to spend most of my time on Instagram, man. I'm a big Instagram person.
Yeah.
My Facebook name is Chris Lewis, and it'll show that I'm from Meridian, Mississippi. Uh, I'm not sure my Twitter name. I think it's Chris Lewis 0.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, if y'all want to reach out to me, man, just reach out, man. I'm happy to give any advice or anything, man.
And as always, I'll drop his social media handles, tag him on everything on Instagram, Twitter. So just keep following the page, and you'll find Chris when we get ready to post it out, man. Any shout outs you want to get to anyone, man?
Man, I would basically like to give a shout out first and foremost, man, God, man. We're nothing without God. So I really, that's my, first shout I want to give. I want to give a shout out to my family for, just being there for me, man, when I needed them the most. If it was anything that I needed, man, they would give it. Just simple, man. And, lastly, man, my girlfriend, man. Like, she was there for me when I needed her the most. And for
Yeah.
that, man, I'm really thankful for her.
Man, Chris, I want to say thank you, man, for reaching out to me, man, and make some time
Oh,
out
no
for me
problem,
as
man.
well, man. I've enjoyed, getting to know you a little bit and hearing your story out, man, and I hope you've, enjoyed, talking to me a little bit. So I'm real grateful for you to come on and speak with me, man, and we're 10 toes behind you, man. Whatever you need, man, let us know, man. It's all love and
Appreciate it.
support, man. That's something I always try to keep condemned, man. This is a show and we talk and it's an interview, but man, whenever we do this, man, if you ever need anything, I'm always here to help, man. So continue doing what you're doing, man. And
Hey,
again, thank you.
same to you, man.
Appreciate you. All love to you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, man. I love what I do, man. And I say that if you love what you do, man, it's not work. You just happy, man. So keep doing what you're doing. I love everybody. Thank you.